Hello fellow model makers. Today we're going to try out some of these well, it says camo masking putty. I'm sure it's not actually camouflage, it's meant to make camouflage paint. Anyways, they're by Alexen Models. I know this brand because I buy their 1/64 scale license plates for Hot Wheels and stuff like that. It's quite interesting that they would get into this, but maybe they do other modeling supplies. Both of these say they're 85 grams, and one is CR0019, the other one is 0018. I guess I should be holding it this way. This is blue queen color, and this is zero black color. But in the AliExpress listing I bought these from, I think one just said it's hard putty and one is not. So we're going to open these up and see what they're all about. Okay, so it comes in this bag. And then, yes, I think the black one, well, actually, the black one is the soft one. I can see, or, well, you can see, but I can feel how easy it is to squeeze this black putty. But this blue, that's a lot of force, right? So that's interesting. I also want to, sorry, it's dusty in here. I also want to compare to poster board putty. This stuff is called Uhu Potafix Pro. It's meant to hold like a lot of weight off of a wall. And I've successfully used poster putty. It doesn't seem to rip off paint or anything like that. This is some free stuff I got from something else, but it seems to be poster putty as well. This is a much softer one because it's not meant to hold as much weight. It's probably just meant to hold a poster, whereas this stuff is much denser. So very similar. I'm assuming the denser it is, maybe the harder it is to peel off or something. Or maybe it has to do with heat, maybe resilience to hot temperatures. Alright, anyways, I'm going to cut this up here. I'm just going to cut through the putty. Okay, that's pretty easy. And let's see if it sticks to itself. I'm sure it will. So, yep. So that's the way you get it out. Alright, so now, if I feel this is definitely, definitely softer than, say, this Uhu. This Uhu is pretty hard to stretch because it's so strong. But this sky blue one, which I don't know the brand because it came with something else, this is even harder, this poster putty. This is softer. Alright. And so one would assume this black one here is even softer than that. Okay, get that out. It's nice that it sticks to itself like that. Back inside out. Alright, that's good enough. So now this black one, I think the blue one does feel heavier, but they look around the same size, so I think the weight on the can may be a little off. I mean, look at the size here. They look like identical sizes, so I wouldn't go by the weight so much. And the weight really doesn't even matter. It's the volume of the putty that you need to have to mask off the model. So this black one is definitely much easier to stretch out. The blue one is definitely a little bit harder, but it's not hard in general. And then this generic poster putty is harder than that. And then the Uhu Potafix Pro is actually quite significantly hard. So as you can see, I've taped off the models a little bit so I don't have to use as much putty. There's a separate video on this. This is a Mang Samoa tank. It's fine. So I'm going to work out a small bead of this stuff. It's really stretchy here. Alright, and then I'm going to basically put out a border, and then after the border I'll backfill to the tape. So let's see, there's some cat hair in there already. seems like it might be too soft. We'll have to see. Right, it's not sticking to the paint as well. So I guess I gotta really press it in there. Yeah, so look at this. This is water-based paint with a shot with the airbrush. I feel like it doesn't want to stick to this paint very much. We'll try the blue one on the turret, but okay. Well, we'll have to see if this ends up masking with a sharp edge or not. Maybe it won't. My concern with the softness is if I handle the model, maybe I'll break through to, you know, something that exposes the paint. Alright, let's try this blue one now. Oh, one other thing is, you want to store these things horizontally. I stored them like I just threw them in a drawer, and some of the putty actually rolled over this edge. And then, and then it was really difficult to pull the cap off because it was filling in this gap. So you want to store it horizontally. Obviously keep cat hair from falling in there. Alright, so let's try this blue stuff now. Let's see if it sticks on any better. Yeah, some cat hair is here. It stuck to this silicone mat, and then it tore away, so be mindful of that. Don't want to put it down on something. Yeah, this stuff is too soft, I think. I don't like it. I am not liking this so far. We'll have to see. Look at that. See? My finger just touching that stuff. Ah, boy. I guess the one good thing maybe is, you know, you're going to get a tight seal because it is soft and you can get into the corners. But if I keep accidentally lifting it up, it doesn't seem like a good thing, right? Alright, it's been like 15 minutes. I put it upside down, but look at what's happening. You know why I don't think this is good is because the paint is already broken up because the blue material is literally moving like a glacier. So I'm going to peel this off the paint and let's see what happens. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to use this ever again. It's just too soft for its own good. Unless you're literally, well, even if you're painting on a flat surface, watch, I'm gonna make this like a cone, and we'll see in just a few minutes what happens here. I should have known because if I stored this at an angle and it creeped over and inside, you know, well, it's not really good. I can't believe they sell this stuff. Well, anyways, hopefully I saved you some money. See, look at that. It was probably initially right at this line right here, but because it crept down, it it it's not creating a crisp edge on the paint. See, there's like a little bit of a ghosting because the putty is literally moving. You see that tiny bit of light brown? So that's unacceptable for something that's used to mask off paint. So this is probably just like the cheapest silly putty this brand could find, and they're just selling it at a marked up price because it's supposedly for hobby stuff. But if it doesn't work, which it doesn't, it's no good. Yeah, and that's really bad. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, you can see there's clearly a defined line, and then next to it on the right, it's like a little bit of a line, and that's because the putty is moving. Here's the other half. I put it upside down, I left for half a day, and this is what it came back to. Look at this. It all puddled off, and this was what fell off of it and was in my paint booth. So, yeah, it doesn't matter if it's the blue color or the black color. This stuff is not very smart, right? Imagine if I left this up. It would be all droop down here and pulling the paint with it. So I'm going to just take this stuff off and we'll see, what happened here, right? See, this brown paint was originally next to that brown paint there, and it's not anymore. So let's take it off and see how much got underneath, which is pretty much the anti-paint masking. Gotta be careful not ripping those tow hooks. So it is nice. It is nice and easy to get off. It sticks to itself very well, so that's good. But the main job of this thing, not so good. So underneath here. A little bit stuck here. That's a pretty deep crevice, but it managed to suck it out. Okay, more in this crevice here. I did prime this model with Vallejo black primer, so that's why the paint's sticking to the model and not the putty. So I will say on this one, because I flipped it over faster than the other one, I guess, it is a tight line. That doesn't need any touching up like the turret needed, so that's good. I'm very thankful that actually worked out well. I took the stuff off because it was so thin here that I don't know if it was really going to mask the material anymore. So I'm going to basically just go to my white poster board putty. This stuff never droops. I can keep a ball of this on this table, and next year I'll come back and it'll look exactly like that. So, yeah, the poster putty, this is a soft white compound, so I've been using this to just hold parts and painting them, but there's no reason why, in my opinion, that this wouldn't work. So let's put some of this on here just to see what happens. So yeah, I'm going to mask off the top again. See, so this stuff, it conforms pretty easily to the model just as well. And I know this is not going to strip paint because I've used it a bunch of times on my 1/64 scale model reviews, and doesn't seem to affect any of my choro cues or anything like that. So okay, well, you get the gist. I'm going to finish this off, and we'll come back and we'll see how much paint gets underneath this. So that might be the one issue. Maybe this doesn't seal quite as well as this because this is super soft. Alright, so you saw me paint this thing. Now, after I painted this, I put this into a food dehydrator at 50 Celsius for 30 minutes. That's another thing about this poster putty. It can handle heat, so this paint can dry super fast in a dehydrator, and it's not going to run. Whereas this stuff, this Alexen stuff will run just at regular room temperatures. This is actually still warm. So let's see what happens here. How well this worked. Did any of this paint creep under? So you have to kind of break the surface, and then I take other stuff to start grabbing itself. Okay. I'm afraid if I dig at it with my fingernails, I'll actually scratch the paint, so that's why I do it this way. But you gotta like break through that paint layer so it starts grabbing itself. So, looking at this is a pretty tight edge. It's not bad, right? What do you think? I don't think it crept under. So yeah, you gotta be careful what direction you're pulling in, right? Get that stuff out from underneath there. There we go. Yeah, look at that. That's fantastic. Alright, so it's safe to say that poster putty works fantastic, and it doesn't have to be super hard poster putty like the Powderfix Pro. Just the generic cheap poster putty does a great job. One thing I also noticed, here's that Alexen stuff, right? I'm going to take an equal sized ball. I haven't been a kid in a long time, but I remember getting silly putty and it would bounce like a super ball. So look at this Alexen stuff. It bounces like a super ball, right? I'm pretty sure this is just generic silly putty. Now, poster putty. It barely bounces. It's more like dead. Right? So this is not silly putty. This could possibly be a kneadable eraser. Fine artists use it to like erase charcoal, and then they knead it to get new eraser. That's what this reminds me of, a kneadable eraser. This reminds me of silly putty. So, I mean, did I just buy expensive silly putty? I think I probably did. But bottom line is, silly putty is not good for painting models. And if anyone tells you it is, I think they're liars, based on this experience. So for me, yeah, I'm sticking with this. And so hopefully this helps you make a decision, because I don't mind losing the money having bought this stuff. But what I don't want is to have millions of people buying this stuff and then just throwing it away, polluting the planet, right? It's not just the product itself, but making that tin can takes a lot of energy. And then shipping all that stuff around to distributors, all that stuff adds up, all the back end costs of manufacturing and distribution. So that's a whole different depressing topic. So yeah, okay, well, I guess this is going to be a fail. I will title this a fail, this Alexen stuff. I don't know what I'm going to use it for. Please leave a comment if you think of some useful purpose I could have for this. I don't know. Okay, thanks everyone. I'll see you in the next model making tool video.